Hi, everybody. So all of the Book of Faces shenanigans today has made me nervous. So I don't usually stream to YouTube when I'm here in this group, but I did today just in case. So hi on YouTube. So I can see myself in the group. So I'm hoping that's a good sign. I know we might be finishing up the Find Your Wave Creations presentation, which was awesome, by the way. I can see myself. I can see comments. So I'm going to give it a second until I see some of you all commenting that you can see me. And I'm going to take this as an opportunity to turn my fan on because I have a long sleeve shirt on and I've got all of my lights on and everything and my door closed, which is going to make it a little warm in here. Oh, okay. Somebody else has eyes on me. I think that's a good sign, right? I think that's a good sign. So, yep, somebody else has eyes on me. All right. I think we might be good. Let me know in the comments. And again, hi over on YouTube if you're watching. I'm going to try and manage both. I can't see comments, so I'm hoping that just means nobody's making any. Because I don't like it when I can't see comments. We just had all kinds of. There we go. Okay, excellent. I can see comments. Sweet. I was getting very nervous, y'all. I was getting very nervous. Okay, so hi, happy Saturday. I would say welcome to the OOAK event, but we are coming to the end of the day. So hopefully you all have been having fun today. Hi, Brian, Leanne, Denise, Adrienne, Natalie, Leanne. I've been watching along. I've been shopping along and having a good time with that. So always happy to be here. We are going to get started. I do have a couple of things to share, which I think I can do while I'm talking, and some things to show you, which I'm going to try to wait to the end. If I get close to the end and realize that I may not have time, we might pause. Oh, wait, I don't need a 30-minute warning. I need a 15-minute warning. So we're going to set my timer here for 45 minutes. And we're going to get started. So I'm going to switch my camera view so you guys can see this. And today I am making a 3D folio card using the Papercraft Socials Ugly Sweater Party card kit. Now this was one of two options. It has been a fun day. Hey Jody. It has been a fun day. Been watching along some great projects. As always, I mean that's not surprising, but holiday ones are, I think, extra special. So you had two options with this kit. You could get the gingerbread, which this is sort of the sample one that I put together. This is just out of like regular paper because I wanted to see how quickly I could get it put together. And so this is one of the options, and we'll use this as I go along. The process to put them together is exactly the same, but for people who have the gingerbread kit, I do want to be able to show you as I'm going. I'm going to do the Ugly Sweater Party because I have people that actually I want to give this card to. And so we're gonna get started. Sorry. Okay, so in this kit, you actually have 3 different options. I managed to make 27 cards today. Cindy, that's impressive. That's super impressive. I got a lot of organizing and cleaning done today, so I'm happy about that. I was doing that while I was watching everybody until I sat down to prep everything. So this is just my paper copy. It looks crappy because it's just plain paper and not like special. Hey, Jan. Yes, it is snowing here in Central Illinois too. Man, it is crazy. Because I always like to have a paper copy. It also has my notes on it. So you have 3 different covers. So for the ugly sweater, it's Let's Get Lit, fa la 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 whatever, and Resting Grinch Face, which is the one I'm going to use. For the gingerbread, you have the house, and then you also have a gingerbread girl and a gingerbread boy. So you have those 3 options. And I think most everybody who ordered the kit got the 3 card options. So you got enough supplies to make all 3 cards. So the first difficult decision you have to make is to pick your cover. And I mean, obviously you can do all of them, but you got to pick which one you want to start with. Of course, I'm starting with, everybody's favorite green guy. And the page in your kit looks like this. And then you have 3 sheets of different paper. And these are your options for the back of the cover because these are 3D. So when you put the cover together, the goal is for it to look like this so that this has paper on the back of it. So I went ahead and picked mine. And to kind of help with time and to kind of move us along, I went ahead and did one of them already, and then we'll do the second one together so I can show you how. I got this one done. I'm going to put my sample out of the way, and we're going to get my other half of my patterned paper. Maybe. That's it. Okay, this is the downside to actually starting beforehand, because then I move things around and I don't know what I did with them. Okay, should be relatively easy to see because I cut it. There it is. All right. So we're going to take this, and I like to use glue stick for this. I will say that as it's gotten colder, and the air has gotten dry. Oh my God, you guys. Whoo, this is going to be that kind of show. Okay. It's a little late for me to be live. I'm usually not live this late in the day. So you know what? I might get even more squirrely as we go along. We will try to keep it together. Apparently my hands aren't working. Facebook might be working for me today, but apparently my hands aren't. But my glue stick, as it has gotten colder and the air has gotten drier, my glue stick is drying so much faster than normal. And so I'm having to move a little bit more quickly, use a little bit more. And actually, I'm going to let this sit for a second before we start to cut it to give that glue a little bit of time to adhere, and then we're just going to come over and ink this. Of course, the inking is completely optional. I like it. I think it adds a little something. I also think it covers crappy cut jobs. So it covers a little bit of the white when things don't quite line up correctly. Now with some of these kits, you might have a little white still because you've got like these little corners that are kind of hard to get into with an ink dauber. A Sharpie works. I have the Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. Those work. If you have the distressed crayons, those work. Anything like that you can kind of get into those corners will cover up that white if you're having a hard time. Now, I do have these smaller ink daubers too, which help a little bit, but sometimes I do find that I have to go into those areas with like a marker or something. Alcohol markers will work, anything like that. And ink down the center. Try not to get too much on the design itself. But it's an ugly sweater, so to be perfectly honest, that is kind of in keeping with our theme. So that one's inked. I usually tend to go with like the vintage photo or the walnut stain. For this one, I'm trying to branch out into like the reds and the pinks, colors that go along with the sweater. I meant to score this before I glued it. I do try to score and bend things before I glue them because I find that it helps when you have to score and bend it after you glue it. If you already have a little bit of a bend in the design, but I forgot to do that on this. Also, for something like this, I do my fussy cut straight across and then go back and cut in that little area there. It's just easier to manipulate the paper. These are my Cutter Bee fussy cutting scissors. I love these. So on my website, on my Paper Craft Socials page, about in the middle of the page, there's a link to my favorite. Hey everybody, how are you? My favorite supplies, and these scissors are linked there. If you don't have good fussy cutting scissors, if you don't like your fussy cutting scissors, I actually have multiple different pair that I kind of use for different things. But these are the ones that I use for classes and stuff like that. Probably need to bust out another pair for at my desk because these might be getting a little old. Now, when you're done, make sure that you keep some of this paper. Hello from snowy Central Illinois up in snowy Chicago. What a day it has been. These are really awesome to hole punch and then keep your little punches and use them to make like your shaker cards and stuff like that. Or even the Tanya's Take card earlier, you could use stuff like this to like put little ornaments on things. So keep some of this. If you think about it, if you have a scrap container or pile, I use the same folders. Is there an easier one to grab? I use these same poly zip closure folders, envelopes, that I use to hold my kits for my paper scraps, and then kind of color coordinate them with the color. I should put that on my Paper Craft Socials page. That's actually not there. No, that really should be there. So we're going to do this. So a couple of things that are happening right now that I don't want to forget to tell you about. This is the last week of the Chalkature Black Friday specials. So there is a really cute $10 doorbuster. I have not gotten mine yet, or I would show it to you, but it's a little snowman chalkable shape, and it's those big thick ones that they've been doing recently so that they really stand very well. And then it comes with a corresponding transfer, and then so that's your $10 doorbuster. been trying to use my scoring board. I'm getting a little better at it. Sometimes I don't always get it lined up right, but we're trying. And then you have 2 gifts with purchase this week. And that's with any purchase. There's a laptop sleeve, which is really nice. It's lined on the inside. So if like you're gifting a Chromebook or an iPad, that would be really nice to decorate and then put that in there. And then an exclusive black squeegee in honor of Black Friday. So that's kind of cool. So those are free gifts with any purchase. Purchase of $50 or more, you get $5 flat rate shipping, which is great if you've got surfaces on your wish list. And then through tomorrow, all of these in tomorrow, you get $15 off a $100 order. There's a promo code for that, so make sure you enter that code. Thanks at checkout. So all of those things are happening in the Choctaw world. In my world, through Monday, so actually it'll end on Tuesday, I never use my scoreboard. I always end up using the scoring blade on my trimmer. Honestly, for some of these, the scoring board on my trimmer might have worked better because I could fit the whole paper on there. My scoring board, that scoring board was gifted to me. A friend of mine got a bigger one and so wasn't using that one anymore. And we had been talking about the fact that I wanted one. So I like it, but I was having to move the paper around a lot because it's smaller than the paper that I'm using. It's really, designed more for cards than for scrapbooking. So I always forget about the scoring blade on my trimmer. I don't know why. So in my world, I've got 25% off site-wide on my website and in my Etsy store. So that includes all my Papercraft Socials kits, all of my printables. The prices are already adjusted, so there's no code. And that's on my website and on my Etsy store. The prices are already adjusted. And I've got about 4 Papercraft Socials kits. Hey, Cindy, you're not late, honey. You are right on time. You are here right when you need to be. Got about 4 new Papercraft Socials kits that I need to get posted, like tonight, tomorrow. So we might extend that sale a little bit, but Thursday is my birthday. So, I would expect there to be something coming for my birthday. I always wanted to get that more than trimming, but never have a scoreboard. So trimmer for me. Yep. Okay. So we've got these, and when we put them on the card, they will line up nicely. So we did that. Cover part A. So the next thing we do, I'm going to show you what the pages of your kit will look like. And so I actually didn't get a switch. I got an Empress, an Anna Griffin Empress. So I had the switch in my Amazon cart, and when I went to buy it, it was sold out. Oh man, I'd love to be in San Diego right now. So I went back into my Scrappy Boy post and about what people recommended, and the Anna Griffin Empress was another one that was recommended. So I got that and actually just came the other day. So I have not had a chance to play with it yet, but I'm excited about it. So on your kit, you'll have pages that say cover part A and cover part B. So that's what we're going to do next. And put my Grinch aside, and I've already cut one of these out. And so what we're creating now is this part right here. So it's this outside, our little gusset, and then the back. And so this gusset is designed to give you plenty of room to be able to decorate the heck out of this. And so I've already done this one, scored it, inked it, and so then we will do this one together and put it together. And I kept some of the titles on these pieces because that's the other thing that happens is in preparation for an event, I cut everything out and then I forget what it is. I need to cut it out and like put post-it notes or something on it to remind me. Although this worked, just like leaving these little tags on there for a second. Yeah, I'm excited. So I have some of y'all know I'm obsessed with Scrappy Boy stamps, and last year they came out with a Wicked set. And so I have started on making little Wicked mini albums for a couple of my girlfriends, and that electric die cut machine's gonna go a long way to helping me get that done faster. So this is, let's see, that's not, yeah. So this is what I was talking about. Like the paper is a little bit longer than my scoring board. So my trimmer would actually be a little bit better here. But I can do this and then flip it over. And that's okay. So you're going to score your cover part A and cover part B pages have these center pieces down there. And so you're going to score that because that's where we're going to bend, where we're going to fold to make our gusset. Trying to keep an eye on YouTube just in case anybody's talking to me over there. They are having a sale. Actually, they had their Better Than Black Friday sale last week, so I cleared my wish list. They are the sweetest guys. I love them so much. I get to see them typically every year at Expo in Schaumburg. And I just sent something to Sean. He's not in here, so I can tell you. So some of y'all know Sean has a mild obsession with Labubu. And the woman who creates these kits for us did just a little fun Labubu fan art kit. We aren't selling it because, you know. And but I had the kit and I made little Labubu tags from it, and I sent one to Sean. I just got it in the mail last week, so I don't think he's got it yet. But I was like, yeah, I have to send this in. So yeah, I did clear my wish list. I had some stuff in my cart that I took out and put back on my wish list because I was like, oh, I can't spend that much money, especially because their December release is usually killer. And you know, one of these days there's going to be a Schitt's Creek release, and they can just take my credit card at that moment. So I know why they haven't yet. Sean wants to make stamps to match all of Moro's wigs, so he's trying to figure out how to do that. I miss them in Ontario. I love that they shared their new house with us. Yes, yeah. They're the sweetest. They are the sweetest guys. You know, they love their fan base and their customers so much. Their design folks are immensely talented. So yeah, just love them to death. Let's see. Let me look at my notes. Oh, giveaways. I have giveaways. Of course I have giveaways. So I'm giving away one of the kits from today, and you'll get your choice. It'll just be enough supplies to make one of the cards. If you want enough supplies to make 3, we can talk about that, and I can do the additional supplies at a discounted price, so just let me know. But you'll get your choice between the ugly sweater or the gingerbread. Oh, I missed comments about the Empress. Oh, I have both the mini and the elite. Ooh. I didn't know there was an elite. I might be in trouble now. So that's one giveaway. The other giveaway is, this is actually one of the kits that I need to get posted. So I don't know if you all remember the fall pumpkin spice latte gift card holders. So it's this, but Christmas. So it's this kit, you know, with ribbon and all that kind of stuff. And then the third giveaway is another mystery box because I've gotten, I know, resting French face is great. It does go really well with these distressings. I like that I am like making myself do something different, and not just do the brown. Okay, so you have, this is, I think, cover part A with the tab. And then cover part B is the one without the tab. Now, these actually do line up to be kind of a continuous pattern. If you miss that when you're putting them together, it's really not the end of the world. And to be honest, on this particular one, okay, so you can tell they won't line up, but really, who's going to notice, right? So we are going to do this with, so this is going to look weird, but I have been doing this with my glue stick here on the edges and a little double-sided tape. I am a hot mess with liquid glue, so I try to avoid it because I always use too much, and you know, that's a problem. The double-sided tape and the glue stick also means you don't really have to wait for that liquid glue to dry. Now, there are some places where we will use liquid glue because we have smaller areas and we need that to be able to get that glue in to that smaller area. But all right, so I'm going to hold that down, and then I can take my binder clips off of this. So binder clips are great for these. I don't know if y'all remember when I did Twilight Manor, that was that accordion, and I busted out the binder clips to like hold those accordion pages together as they were drying. That's a really handy trick. Even though I'm using tape and the glue stick, it still kind of helps keep those pieces together. Okay, so that is our inside cover. I will show you what we do with that in a second. And so now, looking at my notes, cover part A and B. Yep. We stored our gusset. We're good. Okay. Attach the covers. Yes. Okay. So now we attach our covers. And so this is what it's going to look like. I have to put these together like 5 or 6 times before I can do it without notes. Like the accordion one, I can do without notes because I've done so many different versions of these, but some of these I still am not new at, but I don't trust myself without my notes. Okay, so the tricky thing with this is attaching the 3D part, right, and getting it lined up. The first side's easy, the second side, not so much. So what I have actually been doing is trying very carefully, because you don't want to move it, to take my pencil and make a little mark right where the bottom lines up. Because if you do it nice and light, it'll erase off, and that kind of makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to take this. Oh, I forgot to grab it. Well, no, that's fine. I'll just use it. We're going to take this, and this we're going to want to reinforce quite a bit, because if there's anything that's going to get open and closed a lot, it's going to be this. So again, we're going to do glue stick. And double-sided tape. Maybe. This one goes here, and now the trick is finding my pencil mark. Come on, I saw it. Oh, gracious. Okay. Oh, there it is. All right, I see it. It's like hidden in my red ink. So actually, we're gonna, because my glue's gonna dry. So we're gonna take this, and it's like right there. You want to try and get this on the edge here. And a little outside of that edge, which I'm not going to worry about because I don't want to rip it. All right, so there's that one. Now this pencil mark's a little bit easier to see. That one got buried in my red ink. Yeah, that's a good point. Misty, do the double-sided tape first and the glue. Let's try that because we can just do the glue on the outside and not have it completely on the inside. That. Just go around that glue a little bit. Keep the lid on so it doesn't go right on me. Now, in terms of the double-sided tape, I'm using score tape. I like the fact that you can get it in a million different sizes, which makes it really nice for these projects, and it sticks. So there's obviously all kinds and cheaper, so do what fits your budget. But if you are looking for double-sided tape recommendations, that is going to be my recommendation. Okay. How well did I do? Not half bad. Not half bad there. Sweet. All right. So that's that. Just look down a little bit. Okay. Then you have, well, score tape is double-sided tape, but there's double-sided tape that is not score tape, right? So all score tape is double-sided tape. Not all double-sided tape is score tape, if that makes sense. I mean, like Scotch brand makes a double-sided tape. So then the next thing we're going to do is you have these pages that say inside Folio. You've got, score tape is just the name brand. You've got these inside Folio pages, it says at the top, right? So that's one of these. And they're different. The patterns are different intentionally. So I've cut this. And then we're going to score that tab. And then we're going to fold it in half up to the score mark. And then I'll show you what we do with that. Raw scissors. There we go. Much better. Not all scissors are made the same. Of course, I use those for 800,000 things too. So, there's that. I had to buy new fabric scissors because I was at an in-person event a couple weeks ago, and somehow we ended up leaving real scissors at home, and the only ones we had were my fabric scissors. Well, yeah. It's funny because you grow up and you never really understand why grandma got so pissed off And people used her fabric scissors for other stuff. And then you get older and you start crafting with fabric and you invest in some fabric scissors. And then you realize why Grandma got so pissed off when we used her fabric scissors to cut. God only knows what. All right. So we score that. And then we take my glue stick and we glue this. And then you fold it in half up to that score line. I am not paying any attention to whether or not I'm staying in camera. And then we're going to ink this. And for this one, I used this, what is this one? Salvaged patina. But I think for this one, we're going to use the saltwater taffy. Edges, and I have a little green. I think we're going to do this as well. Now, ideally, well, we can let this sit for a few minutes because we'll do the other one first that I glued earlier. I probably would have preferred to have inked that before I folded that in because you're going to be able to see that. Not the end of the world. I did do that on this one. I inked the whole thing before I glued it down. So we are going to switch my binder clips onto this here. And then these, get my Grinchy to lay flat. I'm going to take that. That's folded nice and good. Okay, so these go in here, right? With, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Full, blah, 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 blah. I know. Yep. Attach tabs going opposite directions. Yes. Okay. So this is your center line, right? In the back. Your inside pages go up against this center line with the tab going in opposite directions, if that makes sense. So this one actually has this tab laying on top of this tab. This one is going to go in right next to it, going the opposite way. Okay? Promise this is going to make sense in a minute. You're all probably looking at this going, what? And we're going to do double-sided tape again. That piece was probably too long. So we're definitely not going to get this decorated. We'll get the guts of it. There's a couple of things I want to show you in terms of the decoration, things to think about, or how to put certain things together. You will have more embellishments in this kit than you could possibly fit into this card once it's finished. So lots of pieces that you can use for other stuff. Things you can use to make tags, things you can use in other albums or journals or card kits, anything like that, which is kind of always the goal. That's how Serena always designs these is so that you have a lot left over to do stuff with and get lots of value for what you pay for the kit. Oh my goodness, late black. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I line that up as well as I can before I start to push that down. Just like that. Ribbon getting away. My ribbon stash is insane. I was not much of a ribbon person with my crafting before paper craft socials days. You know, I used a little bit here and there. Obviously used it on tags. And you know, wrapping gifts and things, but not extensively. And now it's insane. It's ridiculous. I'll have to trim a little bit. I went a little too far down on that side. That's okay. We will trim that. So I'm going to turn this so the tab goes in the opposite direction here. Line this one up a little better. The top, make sure I get it lined up in the center. Oh no, no. Shoot. Okay, so this is gonna be a little off. I looked away. I looked away. And then it stuck. But that's okay. It's fine. All fine. Okay, so that's adhered down. So this is part of the middle of the card. So now we work with, you have two pieces in your kits that say inside cover page, right? Exactly the same, no tabs or anything like that. That's these right here. I did not get these all the way cut. And I was prepping stuff the other night. I sit in the evenings, like when we sit and watch TV, and I am constantly cutting kits. I've actually started trying to keep a paper bag or grocery bag or something downstairs for all the paper scraps, instead of having a huge pile on the couch that I'm trying to figure out what to do with. Okay, so these go on the inside here and cover everything. What you have to do first is decide whether or not you want a ribbon closure. Okay, I do, so we're going to do that. And I found this ugly sweater ribbon. Now, I've been looking for the big green guy ribbon. And most of everything I have found is wired. I did find one thing that, and I just found it today because I went on a hunt again. But most everything is wired because it's made for wreath making, which I do not do. Now I like wired ribbon for wrapping gifts, but our son's 22. My days of having to do extensive gift wrapping are over. Half the time for my sister's kids, I send it home to her and make her wrap it. Like, I love you. I'm sending you presents to wrap. All right, so we're going to use some fabric glue for this. If my fabric glue cooperates with me. I gonna line this up a little, maybe. And, oh, yay, you're gonna cooperate with me. So just put a little fabric glue down. I cut about 8 inches of ribbon, because I can always trim it down if it's too much. And then what you can do, if you're like me and you have no patience, put the fabric glue down, and then I'm just going to use a little bit of Scotch tape to hold that down. It'll dry, but we're going to move along. All right, so this goes in here, and we are going to work from this out in terms of getting it put down. We're going to use my glue stick again. You know, adhesive for these is really your choice. If you prefer a liquid glue, absolutely do that. I would recommend clear so that it dries clear, and something that's a little thicker. The thinner glues have a tendency to wrinkle the paper. So we're going to take this and we're going to line it up to that score line. So we're going to have a little bit of a gap. Actually, we're going to line it up all the way against that because it'll bend. That's fine. We'll line it up all the way against that. And we're going to have to trim a little bit. Again, these are kind of designed to be a little bit. Ooh, no, shoot. All right, it's fine. That's what markers are for. They're designed to be a little bit bigger than the finished product so that you can trim and not have to worry about see my glue stick. I'm not going to have enough glue on that. We might take some liquid glue to that. I could have done double-sided tape all the way around that too, and then used my glue stick, which we might do on this next piece. So I'm off a little bit. So we'll trim a little bit at the bottom. We'll have to trim a little bit across the top here, and then like right here where I have that, that's where I'll take maybe like a marker or something to fill in that white, because that is going to bug me. And I wasn't careful enough. So we're going to fold that over. And then we're going to do our other piece. And on this one, we are going to, oh, I didn't ink those edges. Wait. See, that's what happens too, that's why I try to ink everything ahead of time, because I get going and I forget to ink the edges. But that's where markers, distress crayons, watercolor pencils, like all of those things come in handy. Okay, so I have 10 minutes. Yeah, about 10 minutes. Okay. So we are going to do some, oh my goodness, gracious, grateful fire. Wow. See? Squirrely. Completely squirrely by this point in the day. Be a little more careful. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Yeah. Yep. I mean, you can do the inking after. Like I can ink those edges now. You just end up with more ink on your actual design, which doesn't necessarily bother me, but it's a little easier to do if you do it ahead of time. Put a little piece right there. Let's see, I'm trying to remember what else I wanted to tell you guys. I told you guys about the giveaways. I told you guys about chalk sales and my website, which is just girlfridaycrafts.com. And there in the header on my website is a link to my store. And so everything there is everything that's 25% off. There's only a couple of things that aren't 25% off. And so everything that is, the prices have changed. The prices are already adjusted. So no code or anything needed. Same for my Etsy store, which I think you would think I would know what my Etsy store is. Girlfridaycrafts.etsy.com, I think. Prices are already adjusted there. So all of my past Freebie Friday printables, because they're only free for a week, those are all 25% off right now. So if there's one that you missed that was free, you can get that on sale. This week's Freebie Friday is a printable gift tracker to help you with all of those Black Friday purchases. Not only what did you buy, who was it for, but where did you put it? Where are you going to put it when you get it? Where are we hiding presents? So we don't have, oh, hecky darn. We're going to have to put more glue on that. I forgot the ribbon. I forgot my ribbon. Did I put my, I already cut my second piece. All right. Also forgot to check and make sure I wasn't putting the ribbon on here upside down. Let's see here. Figure out how to make sure this is somewhat lined up. I usually just honestly kind of visualize it, to be honest. Which is probably not always the best thing to do. One of these days I'm going to have these way off. And I'm not going to be able to tie it closed. But so far I've been lucky. If you all watch me on YouTube, if you see me in any other lives, like when I'm doing chalk projects or whatever, I don't measure. I don't measure. I just wing it. I will measure on custom orders. I will measure on, really intricate pieces. But as a general rule, I don't measure. There we go. And we're going to have to put some liquid glue on this one, I think, now, because I'm quite sure that glue stick is starting to dry. Now, this up. I'm going to try and line it up and cover a little bit of that white where I messed up. Because again, this will bend. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, don't do that. I am all off on this one. Oh, you know what? Probably should just leave it. It's an ugly Christmas sweater theme, right? Let's just play in to the theme here, maybe. Okay. So now we need to fold these at the gusset again. So I'm just going to do this without scoring it because this gusset is already scored pretty well. So you can find it pretty easily when you fold those in, if that makes sense, right? So then you've got your gusset there. Those fold down flat like that. And then we've got, yeah, it might be time for a drink, Cindy. It might just be. It's definitely time for me to stop trying to do stuff today. I probably should have laid those inner pieces down first to make sure I was laying them the right way. Make sure I cut them kind of the right way. Oh, that's not bad. I didn't do too bad on that ribbon. Now this is not intended either to close flat because you're going to add a whole bunch of stuff in here. And so it's not going to be completely flat. Like it's kind of supposed to look like that. So not too bad. I mean, I've got some trimming to do and some filling in and everything, but that's not too bad. Okay, so one of the other things you have that I just wanted to show you real quick is a signature. So you have 4 pieces. This is the top, right? And so you're going to score here. And then this dotted line is going to line up against your score mark. So you're going to have a bit of an overhang on here, right? But this will give you space. You know, you'll score this, fold it, and then tuck it into that score mark. But that will make sure that your, I got 3 minutes, that your signature will open the way it should. That's actually the last page, so let me have to do that one. Score this quickly. And then that's going to tuck in right like that. Now, like I said, you're going to have a bit of an overhang, right? This isn't going to be flush. But when you lay it down and you attach your signature here inside the journal, which it's designed to really go anywhere, if you tuck it in right like that, you won't be able to see that that overhang is there once you get it all glued down, okay? So you've got a signature, and then you have so much stuff. I put everything in here to get it out of my way, but these are all of your embellishments. You've got tags, you've got little like journaling pieces, you've got pockets and folders, you've got 2 little envelopes, and then each envelope has a set of little cards that fit down inside it. You can use your extra paper to make these double-sided. Thank you, Cindy. I love these. I think they're so cute. Yeah, just trim it off in ink. Absolutely. Don't stop cracking. Let's get ugly. And, you know, the gingerbread one is just as cute. You know, here's your signature. Here's your tags. You've got little embellishments you can make. I haven't done this one, but I was going to make like a layered tag with a little dangle on this one. Just super cute, extra special card worthy people, right? Get this one. Okay, so real quick, I showed you all this. This needs to get up on my site. This is a Nutcracker themed accordion journal. This is actually the December kit for my Creative Collective membership. It will go up on my site for purchase. The folks in the membership get this at their membership price. And then there's a couple other things I haven't even printed. And then there's this one. So if you all remember the Witch's Brew kit, it was the cauldron with the 3D rings. That's what this is. So it's a snow globe, right? This is the cover, inside and outside. And then it attaches with binder rings, and you have all of these pieces. And there's such cool stuff to put this together. Serena used glitter vinyl and covered the snow globe, so it gives it a little bit of that kind of snow look. You can also take glue and Epsom salt or diamond dust and sprinkle a little. And yeah, this snow globe is gorgeous, so I need to get it posted, and I can't wait to play with one. Okay, I think that's everything. I want to say thank you so much to Carol and Brian for this event. I love being a part of this. It's so much fun. I can't wait to be back with you all next year. If you all have ideas or suggestions for projects for me next year, let me know. Email me, drop me a message, put a comment in the chat, or put a comment in the comments. I'm spending too much time on Whatnot. I call everything a chat. Okay, that's it. Thank you all so much. I will see you in January. You'll hear from me before then, of course. I will post giveaway winners later this evening or tomorrow. Everybody stay safe and warm. Bye.